and welcome once again to another episode of S2E11 Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt, and with us is our illustrious, special, very special guest.
Very special.
Ray! Would you?
I'm changing my name.
Did you think I forgot? Talk.
Hello.
All right. With us is our illustrious guest, Ray.
Come on, do it.
No, you don't get those no more. Because you're
well.
Ray.
Oh, well. Thank you, finally.
Tonight we're gonna talk about my experience at Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City.
Cool. That just happened today as we're recording.
Yes.
So it's fresh on your mind, so you should not forget anything.
Very much so. I will post a photo right in this general area of myself and Miss Cassandra Peterson.
Ooh, Elvira.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. Very, very beautiful still. Even though there's a plexiglass barrier, so there's no touching.
I was going to say, does she smell as good as Zach Wilde did?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So you didn't get a hug, so you don't know.
No.
I mean, Zach hugged us.
Right. And I wasn't going to pay the money for the autograph. Yeah, afterwards. No. No. One of the people that I really wanted to see and I was going to get a photo with canceled.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously reasons behind canceling. But, you know, it is what it is.
You might have had the COVID.
He may have had the Rona.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Or he could have done like he booked in WCW.
I don't know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, and it's like he has said, because Goldberg had said that he booked all of his matches, but if that was true, do you think he would have taken the finger of death
Right.
the night after winning the title?
Right.
No.
I think any wrestling fans out there have figured out who we're talking about by now. When you said the finger of death.
I mean,
I was getting ready to ask, what the hell's the finger of death?
He was standing in the ring with Hulk Hogan, and they were bowed up at each other, and Hogan went, bip, and he went, boom, and laid there for a 3 count.
and he had really long hair, so it was like very dramatic when he fell.
Hair went back.
I mean, he took a big old bump.
Yeah. They were NWO buddies at the time.
Yeah.
Well, they were supposed to be against each other,
Yeah.
but then they were again.
Yeah. There were a shit ton of people dressed up. There was good costumes and then not so good costumes.
How would we have compared in our Halloween special? Where would we be? Middle ground, below middle ground, upper middle ground?
I think solid middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were quite a few people, or actually, no, I should say there was only like a handful of people with NWO shirts on. But I, only one wearing the black and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to go for the black and white.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
But yours says WWF on it.
Well,
Or
because
WWE.
World Wrestling Entertainment does own.
But you did have an original shirt from the WCW days.
I have
Anymore.
I have moved around and yeah, because
That's what
I used to have a black and white,
Right.
But you know, an original one. But I've moved around a lot. I mean, shit,
I do have a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Pullover sweatshirt. I can't remember. I think it's the red and black.
There was a Deadpool dressed up like Elvira
Okay.
with the beehive and the dress, and yeah, I'll post that picture right here.
So was he wearing just a Deadpool mask, or did he have
No.
the whole Deadpool suit on?
No, he had the full Deadpool suit on, and then he had the Elvira dress on with the
Okay.
balloons and the beehive. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Try to get that picture out of my mind later.
There was an Uncle Fester and a Wednesday and a
You said Wednesday was kind of a
she was like the Abby from NCIS.
right.
Taller, the thicker Doc Martin boots. She did have the braids. But yeah, I mean, she definitely didn't look like Christina Ricci or Jenna Ortega, I believe is the latest Wednesday.
Something like that. She growed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
Yeah.
Pugsley. That's who it was. Yeah.
Pugsley?
Her brother. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was a guy dressed as Pugsley. A lot of Trekkies.
Was there any Harley Quinns?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe some Harley Quims?
Maybe a Harley Davidson that had grown 2 legs.
Yeah. So what you're saying was it wasn't nobody dressed like Harley Quinn that looked anything like Margot Robbie.
Oh, yeah, by far.
By far.
There was a couple of Negans.
Negans, what's that?
Who?
Negan from
Negan.
Walking Dead. Dude, leather jacket,
I
baseball
thought you just
bat.
said something you got to edit out later.
Oh no, no. He had the baseball bat with the
Barbed wire.
barbed wire wrapped around it,
okay.
called Lucille.
Well, stole that from fucking Mick Foley.
Actually, BB King.
Yeah, I was going to say BB King.
His guitar was called Lucille.
No, I'm talking about the barbed wire bat.
Oh well, I mean it's from The Walking Dead, so you know
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic. Oh yeah.
Mick Foley had that way before then.
Oh, well, actually, Cactus Jack.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. There was some baseball furies from the movie The Warriors. You old school people will know what I'm talking about.
Warriors,
Come out and play.
Get the
Oh yeah. Let's see here. There was a whole lot of Mandalorians.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
There was a little girl, and I'll say she was a little girl only because she came up like mid chest, and I'm not a tall guy, but she had on the Bo-Katan Mandalorian costume.
Oh, yeah.
With the painted owl, and I mean there was more than just the like from the show Ben Jarin, Pedro Pascal's character, but there was one dude that I mean. I don't know what kind of paint job he did, but the shoulder armor, everything looked like metal.
Cool.
One Mandalorian in Pabst Blue Ribbon.
There you go.
Little PBR action.
Right.
Oh, my God. PBR.
Yeah. Oh,
That shit makes your pussy hurt, man.
I mean, we all know it as being like a step above the beast.
You know what?
Milwaukee's best.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Milwaukee. I'd rather drink old Milwaukee.
We were in Des Moines, Iowa last year for Central States CSQA mid-year.
Okay.
And the girls got to go on their trip, and I don't remember what they were serving at our deal, but we're like going, you know, when we were downtown last night, there was some neat little mom and pop shop type deal.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that there's a lot of Scandinavian, or not Scandinavian, like Czech
Okay.
and stuff like that influence in downtown Des Moines. But we went down there, and there was a bunch of these mom and pop restaurants. It's like, let's go down there and just get some food, you know. And there was a place down there that was authentic, da-da-da-da-da. And their special was PBR on tap.
Oh, boy.
And Herbie's like going, you know, I haven't had that in a long time. I go order one. I was like, yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
And on tap,
Twist my arm.
in a frozen mug,
Yeah.
with a little dash of salt in the top of it.
Okay.
Wasn't too bad. But they had it on sale for like $1.50 or something.
Oh,
When everything
hell.
else was over $3, you know.
Well, and I mean, like Bush Light or Bush, if you will, is good on tap.
Yeah.
It's drinkable on tap.
I drank a
but-
ton of Bush back in the day when we could buy it for $5 a 12-pack.
I mean,
Not Bush Light.
how many 30 packs of the champagne of beers did we go
Oh,
through during
yeah.
band practice?
That's what wrote the Blind Side album.
Yeah.
That and some whiskey.
And to think, it's only went up $7 since
Miller High Life,
1990.
7,
98?
6, 7,
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Yeah, Miller High Life. Yeah.
High Life? Okay, yeah.
The
The
Champagne
champagne
of
of beers. Mm-hmm. It was $9.99 a 30 pack.
Oh,
Cash Savers in Buffalo has it for $16.99.
30-pack. Oh, well. That still ain't bad.
And to think,
No.
I mean,
band practice during the week was a 30 pack
Right.
because everybody had to work.
right.
Band practice on the weekends was a 30 pack and a bottle.
Bottle
least.
of...
But the bad part about it was that was on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we started at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
Bottle of what? What?
Generally, it was Captain at the time.
Yeah, Captain or
What?
Seagram 7.
Okay.
Red rum.
Red
rum.
Oh, boy.
We didn't drink that bottle. Ryder, I think, drank most of that bottle.
There was
Ryder. Boy,
we
he
had
was-
a bottle of Jaeger down here for the longest time.
Yeah, we'd do a shot
can't
off
do
that when we
Jaeger.
were desperate.
Yep.
I can't do Jaeger. I never could.
It's okay if you love black licorice.
I don't like black licorice. Sorry.
Well, that's the thing. Neither do I, but I'm the one that brought down the Jaeger because you take Jaeger out of the freezer and you mix it with Dr. Pepper, and it's a pretty decent drink.
Yeah, okay. I'll take your word for that.
There was a lot of stormtroopers.
I'll bet.
Now there was one booth, and I think I got a picture of it. And immediately, as soon as I saw it, I thought of Chris and Brandon because they were Star Wars costumes made for wheelchairs.
Oh, yeah?
One of them was it looked like the Mandalorian's ship, and Brandon would be dressed as the Mandalorian, and he would have the full ship around his wheelchair.
Ah, cool.
There was the land speeder.
I was going to say
one.
they could
Yeah.
do speeders.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a guy walking around. He looked like in the original trilogy there was that like rectangle sort of droid. In the Jawas thing, his feet were up and they were burning his feet, and he was all like, nah. Yeah, there was a guy that had that on his. He looked like a dude riding on that. He had the fake legs over the side, but
Right.
yeah, he had the big square feet and everything.
Did you hear about the big uproar in the Star Wars or the Star Trek
No,
controversy thing?
no.
I guess on a recent episode of Picard says, fuck.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's on Paramount. You can say that.
Yes.
And these people are writing in just furious. Oh, Star Wars, they're supposed to be more advanced and blah, 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 blah.
Star Trek.
Or Star Trek.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be more advanced and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, use language like that. And the writer of the show said that was not written into the script. That Patrick Stewart,
Sir.
Sir Patrick Stewart,
Yes.
done that on his own. And they said it made the scene seem more real.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, if you're, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. In fact, we've just started watching Picard. We had to go back to the season before, so I'm not up to date on it. But I'm sorry. If you're getting sucked into a black hole, you're not going to go, oh, shucky darns.
Right.
Oh, dadgummit.
You're going to say, fuck me.
Oh, no. What shall we? Oh, yeah.
Do you know who we have to thank for Star Trek?
Gene Roddenberry.
Nope.
He wrote the books.
He may have wrote the books, but because
Roddenberry, not Roddenberry.
a Miss Lucille Ball,
Really?
she bought the script for the pilot when nobody else wanted it, and it was
Really?
Desi. It was their studio.
Desi Productions.
Yeah, it was their productions that initially did the pilot.
Ah, cool.
So you could honestly think of it like this:
Lucille Ball.
Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein
Right.
and created the science fiction genre, if you will. Lucille Ball can be considered the godmother of modern science fiction.
There you go.
And that's my mother's favorite show, I Love Lucy.
Ricky!
But anyway, I did not know that.
Yes,
Wow.
because March is Women's History Month.
Okay, okay.
That was one of the tidbits of information that I give in the mornings.
Ah, there you go.
Yep.
Who knew?
Last month
Did not
was
know
all
that.
about Black History Month.
March is also St. Patty's Day.
Ah, see, now yesterday's...
Which, as we were recording, that was yesterday.
Yes.
That's why I'm wearing the green.
Yesterday, St. Patrick's Day, I did, it's still women's history, but Irish women.
Nicole Kidman.
No, God, I can't think of her
No,
name
she's
off the top of my
Australian
head,
anyway,
but she became the first female president of the Republic of Ireland, resigned from office 4 months before the end of her term in 1996. She got elected in 1990, and her term was up in 97. She resigned it and took up, became UN Commissioner of Human Rights. And she held that post until 2002 when she retired.
Cool. You
Yes.
can't remember her name.
Wow.
Off the top of my head, I cannot.
You'll have to put it up here.
Yeah, up here somewhere. There was I met an artist that's worked with Disney Plus, FX, blah, blah. He draws Stitch,
Oh, yeah.
and got to talking to him, and
You showed me your tat.
I did. He loved it, and I showed my daughter some of his stuff. Had her go to his website and order, or she told me what prints she wanted. There's like the one that I got. It's Han and Leia from Star Wars. Stitch is Han, and Lilo is
Yeah.
Leia. There's one with Ren and Stimpy, one of the Mad Hatter and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. There was one that I wish my daughter would have got or wanted me to get for her, and it was Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Clerks, Mallrats,
Look-
Chasing Amy.
You don't know who motherfucking Jay and Silent Bob is?
Yeah, I know James
Oh, okay.
Silent Bob, but
Okay.
there's a lot of those that I've not seen. Don't give me that look. Thank you.
But there was oh my god, so this guy does glasses, and for all you older folks out there, because our target audience is 45 to 59, that's what our
45 to dead.
yeah pretty much, but anybody that has seen the movie Spaceballs, there's Spaceballs the apron, Spaceballs the cereal, Spaceballs this, Spaceballs that. Well, he had Spaceballs the pint glass, Spaceballs the rocks glass, Spaceballs the cutting board. And then...
Was any of them plaid?
No. He said he had a pizza board that was a Spaceballs, the pizza board, plaid.
Plaid. Yeah.
But he had Pizza the Hut pizza board. But the best one was he had a pint glass and it had a pick on it, like a hair pick. And all it says is, "We ain't found shit."
Of course, back to the plaid thing. That's why Tesla has a plaid package in all their cars.
Exactly.
Because Elon is a huge Spaceball fan.
Yes. I mean...
And would you put the plaid package on your Tesla? It's...
Yeah. They've gone plaid. But, I mean, there was a lot of good vendors there. There was some expensive shit.
Oh, I bet.
I made it a point to only have cash. I left all my cards in my truck.
Right.
Because that could have went really bad, really quick.
Oh, shit, I got to have that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had ATMs all over the place.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
The only time I've ever seen the three faces of Foley Funko Pops together, because I've got a Mick Foley one. Actually, Mick Foley.
Right.
But they had Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. And the Cactus Jack one, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was the later Mick after Mankind Cactus Jack. It wasn't the younger Cactus Jack.
Right.
But the Mankind was the original Mankind in the all brown.
Oh,
not the corporate shirt.
Right.
With Mr. Sacco.
Right. Back when he was a crazy guy that lived in the bowels of the building.
Yes.
Yep.
And to hear Mick Foley talk about it, Mankind's voice is a lot like Cactus Jack's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first time I seen him, I'm going, that dude's familiar.
Right.
And I'm like, I couldn't quite place it because I hadn't seen a whole lot of Cactus Jack at that point.
Right.
Because I just started watching wrestling again, pretty much. You know, got a satellite, was able to watch. And I was working out at Southern Star, and I was talking to this kid, and he liked wrestling, and he's like, "Hey, man, did you see Cactus Jack in WWF?" I'm like, "No." He goes,
"Who that?"
That Mankind dude. I'm like, that's where yes, okay. Makes sense now.
Yeah. Let's see here. There was, I mean, there was a lot of Trekkies, but then again, William Shatner was there.
Shatner was there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Photo with William Shatner. Of course, they were sold out.
Right.
All 3 days because he was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
This guy's almost 90 years old.
No, he's over 90.
Is he over 90 now?
Yes, he is. He's like 94.
Oh, wow.
I think. Oh, yeah, he's old.
Well, I know because in the original Star Trek, he was in his mid-30s.
Yeah. Let's see. There was Shatner. There was the guy that played Data. The guy that was the first officer in Next Generation.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a beard.
Yeah.
Yep.
William Riker.
Yep. He was there.
I'll tell you who I'd love to have seen off of Next Generation. Troy.
Yes.
Oh, I had the hots for that woman from day one.
Well, I mean, that's...
Commander Troy.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing.
And even in the last Next Generation movie, when she's in her late 40s probably, she still looked good.
I mean, you've seen the picture of Cassandra Peterson.
Right.
She was a showgirl back in the 70s in
Right.
Vegas.
Exactly.
And she still looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
No plastic surgery or
No Botox or anything.
nope.
Well,
So that's where I think a lot of, especially actresses,
Yeah.
make the mistake. They're thinking, "Oh, I got to get rid of these lines and stuff."
Yeah.
Now, and when they do, they just deform their face. They don't look nothing like they did. If they just let
Right.
themselves age,
Right.
keep yourself up.
Right.
You know, moisturize, do whatever, but just let yourself age. You know, because Priscilla Presley back in the day was a very beautiful woman.
mm-hmm.
But she's had so much plastic surgery, you don't even hardly
Yeah.
recognize who the hell she is.
Um,
Her skin's tight,
now
but it looks
we've mentioned this woman
nice.
several times on the podcast.
And I just watched the deal. It was on Facebook the other night. There was a video popped up, and the next video that popped up was her on David Letterman during True Lies.
Yeah.
And she comes out there showing leg all the way up to her hip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn.
I saw
Jamie
her.
Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her. She was accepting her Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking still beautiful. Still.
Let her hair go white.
Oh yeah.
You know, what the fuck's wrong with that? What the fuck's wrong with that?
Oh yeah. I got special lights, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
mine doesn't look that white, but
I've got a
yeah.
tad bit of white, but you know,
You're starting to look like a calico cat now. Kind of tortoiseshell.
Andy looks like he uses just for men in the shower.
I don't do nothing.
I mean, you've got more dark hair in your beard than I do.
Now there is some white, you know, like over here maybe.
Oh, I thought that was just gravy.
No, it's ha 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 ha. You funny guy.
My mama says I'm funny.
Yes, you is.
My mama said.
Mama says gators is so ornery because they got so many teeth and not a big enough toothbrush.
That sounded almost like Forrest Gump instead of
Yeah, I know.
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah. You know, and it was. I didn't stay as long as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to do the Cassandra Peterson Q&A session,
Mm-hmm.
but
How long did it take you to tape your titties up like that?
yeah, I saw like Shatner did one, and it became standing room only, and it was in the grand ballroom, and I was starting to feel not necessarily claustrophobic, but like, yeah, there was a fuck ton
Just
of
getting a little
people there.
tight.
Yeah, and then you had people that were dressed up like these different cartoons with these humongous like headdresses,
Yeah.
and you know it's like you
Taking up a lot of room.
well,
Yeah.
you got to watch out so you don't get it in the face. Or somebody's got a sword that's like 8 foot long and like 4 foot tall, and they're just dragging it, and it's like, that did no. It's getting a little closer.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Quite a few families. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Mom, dad, children, they were all dressed up, which was, I mean, just really great.
Right.
Yeah, I mean there was quite a few costumes. Oh, somebody was dressed up like Homelander from The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
There was a little boy dressed up like Wolverine. But then there was a couple of
Anybody dressed up like the Feral Kid and the Road Warrior?
no.
That'd be a fucking excellent fucking costume for a kid.
I think there was a couple of adults that kind of looked that way, but they may be on some registries.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, but
We're on not yet.
But
I'll be back. I'll be back.
This is a video, Andrew.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
wow.
Walking out on a video podcast.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
Got to pee.
Drink.
Supposed to do that before we start.
Yeah, and then just right there. Fuck the camera.
I guess we could do like Joe Rogan and pause.
Well, I mean, they just continue to talk.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, they'll like, I gotta pee. The other guy's like, I gotta pee too. And I was like, and we're back.
yeah. Well, but I mean, most of the time when I hear about that, it's like it's just audio. It's not video, or I'm not watching the
I'm just
video.
listening to it, but I mean, yeah, but young Jamie pauses it and they go
Yeah.
pee, they come back, and then the next thing, I mean, there's not a pause.
Right.
And you just hear and we're back. Oh my
Well,
God, that felt good.
You know, and if
Rogan used to last his whole podcast.
yeah,
Never peed. But here the last couple weeks, he's got to go pee 2 or 3 times in a 3-hour podcast
oh yeah,
because he'd been to his doctor. And his doctor said, yeah, you're a little dehydrated. He said, it's probably because I just got out of the sauna like an hour earlier. He said, so I've been drinking a shit ton of water.
yeah. Well, and you know, if we were being monetized,
Mm-hmm.
you know, right now would be the perfect time for a commercial.
Hey, there you go. We were brought to you by us.
Yes.
That's one thing you won't hear on a J&M podcast
Oh man.
is commercials.
Yet.
I'm trying to jinx it, and so we'll have to start doing commercials.
Right. I mean, you look here. I mean, who else has their own table?
I don't know because I don't hardly watch anybody's podcast.
Who else has their own monogrammed decanter?
There you go.
Now,
And glasses.
oh, yeah. We haven't used those in a while.
Haven't used them in a while.
We may, you know, at some point in the future, we may have a tap to where we just take.
There you go.
Yeah. That would be terrible.
That would, yeah, it would.
I mean,
Because halfway through the podcast, we'll be like, what were we talking about here?
well, Ray, I mean, we had a full bottle of the Agave Road tequila, like the first time he had it, and
Oh, yeah.
he like emptied the bottle in one podcast.
He's like, that's good. I was like, oh, shit, pour us another one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we've had enough. You know, the thing is about the whole Comic-Con, like paying for autographs and everything. I mean, I get it because you're going to pay, you know, X amount of money for an autograph, so you're not going to turn around and try to sell it.
Yeah.
But you have legit people. I mean, because, I'm sorry, are you going to want to buy an autograph picture that's made out to Steve?
No.
Right.
Nope.
I seen one booth, a guy was selling a Julie Newmar autograph picture. You know, Julie Newmar, of course, was the first Catwoman
right.
in the Adam West Batman. But it said, to Dave, you're just perfect. Love, Julie Newmar.
Right.
I'm sorry, my name's not Dave.
But if you was wanting the autograph,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, here he comes. Let's see what happens.
Dum, 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 dum. And he made it. It's a good thing we're in our new podcast configuration.
Yes.
Of course, if it was the old configuration, he would have been on well, he'd have been on camera leaving, but not crossing in front of the camera.
Correct.
Sorry about that, folks. Thank you very much, Matt. That made my day. and crickets and everything. Ha, 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 ha.
I don't know what just happened there, but I mean, I know what happened because I pushed the button physically,
Right.
which is great because those that are tuning in, returning of our tens of listeners, you will notice that there is no mixing board right there because we have moved it off camera in front of me so I can push the buttons and not have to reach across.
Host, producer, I mean.
I do what I can.
Yeah.
Editor.
Editor.
I was going to say that.
Post-production.
Yeah.
Pre-production. Yeah.
What is fact checker?
Fact check.
Yeah.
I think you're even a best boy, right?
Grip. Yeah.
Grip,
Yeah.
Key grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And then you got.
You're the Tony Khan of podcast world.
I mean,
Not only is he the president, but he's the head booker, talent relations, writer.
well, I mean, there's nothing really being written. We don't have a script.
No, we don't have a script, but
Now the GOAT episode we basically had a script.
add notes.
Notes, yes.
Notes.
We'll go with notes.
High spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Key points.
Yeah. Kind of the difference between old school wrestling, when the booker gave them high points to say during their
Promos.
and today when they've got a script that they got to read verbatim.
And I think a lot of that comes from.
Except for maybe Cody Rhodes and MJF.
I think a lot of that comes from the bombshells that have been.
Yeah, but those are
in the
what was
last
so
couple
great.
But
The pipe bomb
bombs, yeah.
that CM Punk dropped to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking awesome. Ruffled a lot of feathers, but the fans were like going, "Holy shit, this may be real."
Right.
And that's what you want.
But you know what? For quote unquote scripted, but looking as real as hell. When the Dudleys jumped the Acolytes in the ring, and then the Dudleys were doing their promo afterwards, and they got attacked by the Acolytes, and as soon as the director yelled "cut," they all got up, shook hands. We good? Yep. And I mean, it was hardcore. I mean, because there was no pulling punches with Ron Simmons and
they knew how to make it look good.
Oh yeah.
They laid it in.
Yes.
They were laid it in safe.
You know, that's what Sting had said that about Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Foley didn't care about his body,
Mm.
but he always took care of the talent.
Right. Well, it's many of the big moves. I just watched a deal on YouTube the other day. It was wrestlers that wish they had changed their finishing maneuver.
Yeah.
Because they took the tombstone pile driver.
Yeah.
Both their weights are coming down on the knees of the Undertaker.
Taker and Kane. Yep.
I mean, because you got to protect that guy so you don't crack his head into the freaking mat.
Right.
So the frog splash.
Oh my God.
All your weight's coming down on your knees and your freaking hands or your elbows.
Well,
They showed a video of Eddie Guerrero. He came off, and as soon as he hit, he like grabbed his fucking elbow because he dislocated his elbow doing that maneuver. I mean, there's so many of them. You know, they're trying to protect their opponent so they don't really kill them.
The flying headbutt.
Well, Hulk Hogan's leg drop.
Yeah.
He said after how many hip surgeries and how many back surgeries and everything, he said, I wished I'd have done a sleeper hold. He said, I was going out there promoting. I had 24-inch pythons. Why didn't I use a sleeper?
Right. Well, Chris Benoit.
Yep.
The flying headbutt.
Well, you know who started that? Harley Race. He started that back in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
And when he seen Benoit and a few others doing it. He's like, guys, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. You'll scramble your fucking brain.
And vice the reason why we'll never see Chris Benoit in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Nope.
He was a good wrestler, but it's the trash that's associated to the name.
3 nights.
Yeah.
3 nights at his own home ruined his legacy. And he was, for a small guy, he was one of the best ever.
Oh yeah.
Right. He was good, but
oh yeah. I mean,
what happened at his house? That was
his shit looked real. I mean,
yeah. I mean, okay, the DDT,
yeah.
the flying elbow from the Macho Man.
The DDT that wasn't on there because your body's not taking. I mean, you're falling flat on your back.
Right.
But like the diamond cutter or the RKO or whatever, that's, rough on the body. I mean, it's all rough on the body, especially if you worked in WWE back in the day, back in the WWF days when them rings were about as hard as this table.
Right.
Now the Crockett promotion rings, they had some more spring to them. They were bumping rings.
Right.
Bobby Eaton could do that leg drop off the top rope there. When they went to WWF, he done that once. He's like, fuck that, I ain't doing that shit again.
Sting has talked about the splash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how he wishes he wouldn't have done that.
Probably because he gives himself whiplash every time he done that.
As you get older, and Foley has talked about this, as you get older, it's harder to get that chin tucked back down. And, and when you're flying and you're hitting chest first into somebody.
Your head's moving.
Oh, yeah. Who was it? It was Benoit with the German suplexes over and over and over again.
Well, Eddie Guerrero done the Three Amigos, the belly to back suplexes, German suplexes, whatever you want to call them.
I mean, but then you got the moves that the sharpshooter,
figure 4 leg lock,
the lion tamer,
the Chris Masters master lock, which was a full Nelson.
Yeah. God, what was that move called? Scott Steiner did, where he
the Steiner recliner.
Yeah, Steiner recliner. I mean,
camel clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that he was a fucking freak of nature.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he wasn't putting any. He done a lot of shit like the Frankensteiner and stuff that put a lot of shit on his own body.
Yeah.
But the Steiner recliner, not so much. If you can squat down and grab a chin.
Yeah.
The other guy might be going, hey.
Ease up a little bit.
The Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
That's
Lita fucked herself up doing the Hurricane Rana on a movie set.
Yeah. Hang on. No, she talked about this, and it wasn't Lita didn't do it. It was the lead actress, because they had practiced it one way, and the lead actress decided to do something else that they did not practice, that the stunt coordinators did not practice, and that's what hurt Lita, because she talked about it on the Smoke and Skull session.
Yeah.
And
Smoking Skull or Broken Skull?
Smoking.
Okay.
Smoking Skulls. Or maybe it is the Broken Skulls. Fuck, I don't know. Steve Austin's podcast on WWE
Broken
Network.
Skull.
Yeah. She put in a call to Steve because they were talking about cutting her up and fusing everything together. And it was Steve Austin told her exactly what to do, got her in contact with his surgeon, because if you look at Kurt Angle, and I know we're going into a wrestling podcast here, but you look at Angle, his neck is completely fused, and he's not doing this number.
Right. But Angle had a surgery back in the day where they done a different type of surgery than the fusion deal.
Yeah.
And he was back in like 9 months.
Right.
Where it would have normally took a year and a half or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he had that little scar right there.
Yep.
Because it's weird to me. Go operate on your neck, you go through the throat.
Yeah.
Huh? But they say it's less invasive to go through the throat.
Yeah, because with Steve, they went through the throat, but then they also went through the back of the neck. He's got a scar on the front and the back.
Right.
Because when he was at home recuperating, he took off his neck brace and he showed that small little scar he had.
I remember when Arn Anderson, when he had to retire, he, his neck was fucked. And he went in for surgery, and the doctor said, well, he said, I got good news and I got bad news. He said, good news is you're going to be pain-free. Bad news is you're 2 inches shorter and you'll never wrestle again. He's like, well, what do you mean? He said, you take one bump on that neck and you will be paralyzed.
Yeah.
One bump and you are
It could be a body slam, back body drop. You hit wrong, you're done.
The Steiners set up the Frankensteiner with Buff Bagwell. And they pinched a nerve to where you remember it. It was live Nitro.
Right.
And pinched that nerve, and he went down like a fucking sack of potatoes, and he was paralyzed for a good couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it was not scripted.
Right.
Because of the way Scott Steiner acted, immediately afterwards.
Right.
Because at that time, a heel is going to be a heel. And there was no internet. And it wasn't until years later did you see the curtain call.
Right.
When Hall and Nash left WWE and went to WCW.
Right.
You saw that curtain call, and Nash was still selling.
Oh, yeah, he sold through the whole thing.
Right.
Right.
But you had Hall, Nash, and Shawn Michaels, and Triple H, and I don't know if Sean Waltman was out there.
No. Waltman wasn't. It was just Hall, Nash, because that's what they were talking about. They couldn't discipline Hall and Nash because they were leaving. That was their last night. They couldn't discipline Shawn Michaels because he was the world champion.
Yep.
But Triple H's push stopped.
Right. Now, there's been speculation that was the best thing for his career.
Well, in hindsight, at the time, he's going, fuck.
Right. But it lengthened his career.
Right.
Because he was dropped from main events to mid-card.
Right. You remember when Kevin Nash went to powerbomb the Giant?
Oh, yeah.
Big Show?
Yep.
Dropped him. Because, look, you're talking about a 500-pound, 7-foot man. And Nash is a great big guy, but that's a lot of weight to get up in a powerbomb position that he just fell forward.
Yeah.
And he landed right on his neck.
Right.
And he's like, oh, shit, And, but he went ahead and covered him and everything. But then when they found out he was all right, Nash is like, yep, I'm Big Sexy, the Giant Killer.
Right.
They played it up.
Nash was 6'11", 385, and Show, or the Giant, 7'4", 5'20", 5'30".
Oh,
and
my.
It wasn't until, he had, was it hip surgery in WWE when he shaved his head and, he lost, dropped all that weight and got cut the fuck up.
I just read that he's, of course, he works for AEW now.
Yeah.
He does commentary.
Paul White.
He's had a recent knee replacement or something like that. But he said, doctors told me, he said, I'll be able to get back in the ring. And he's wanting to, not full time.
Right.
But he don't need to be full time.
No.
He needs to be an attraction, like Andre the Giant was.
Yeah.
If Andre would have been in one territory the whole time, everybody would be like, well, we've seen this shit before.
Right.
But when he comes into your territory once a year, you're like, going, ooh, fucking Giant's coming. We got to go see him.
Right. But, and that's the thing is, guys like Paul White, in all actuality, if he, like Andre, if Andre didn't like you,
You're fucked.
you're not going over. He's not allowing Hogan to body slam him.
No.
He's not allowing anybody to do anything to him.
I was watching a deal on Jake the Snake, and Andre had him in the corner, and he done that big set down on him in the corner,
Yep.
and he started laughing. And the referee's like,
Who started laughing?
Andre
Andre.
did.
Andre did?
Yeah, Andre. And the referee's like, what are you doing? Why are you laughing? He goes, I'm 14. And Jake said it wasn't a, it was a.
Yeah.
So when he got up, he said it looked like I'd spilled fucking brown gravy on my fucking shoulder.
No, damn.
He said it was terrible.
Oh, shit.
Andre loved to fuck with people.
Oh, yeah.
And he drank so much beer, he'd fart on your face, just them old fucking
They said
700-pound beer farts, you know.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner talked about on the set of Princess Bride. And they had all went out to eat. And Carrie Ells has actually talked about this, that the little bitty restaurant, like the only one in town where they were shooting, they had to get emergency resupply of alcohol
They had to
yeah.
call in a bear truck.
because Andre had drank all the wine,
Yep.
all the beer, all the whiskey.
And he was not drunk yet.
No.
Jake was talking about when he, you know, he was like relatively new to WWF. And they said, you're driving Andre. He's like, okay. So they had a van, you know. So they hop in the van. Andre gets in the back, of course, you know, where he's got more room. Said he got in there and he's like, beer. So, okay. So we'll get a case of beer. You know, we got 300 miles to go. And they took off, and he stopped, and he's like, okay, you want a case? He's like,
No.
4. It's like, 4? Okay.
Four
So-
cases?
Yeah. So he bought 4 cases of beer. Got in there and said, of course, a can of beer in Andre's hand looked about like this shot glass in my hand.
Yeah.
But-
A Foster's can look small in his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
He said they started driving. And Jake said, as soon as I started drinking beer, he said, I'd have to pee in like 30 miles. So I stopped, peed. Andre, you got to pee? No. So we drove 350 miles. Motherfucker never peed and drank over 3 cases of beer. Yeah.
Oh, my.
They talked the Andre documentary on HBO Max. They talked to his longtime handler and close friend, and they talked about being in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And Andre taking a shit in the tub.
Or the
because-
bed.
Yeah.
So sometimes the tubs weren't big enough, or the bathroom wasn't big enough for him to get in there.
He had went through the wall of one bathroom one time, just sitting down. Yeah.
Yeah, you think, man, that'd be cool to be that big, but really? No.
No.
Well, and that's the thing is, Paul White had the surgery to stop the growth. Andre never did.
Right.
Because, I mean, but at the time, I mean, nobody knew what was
Right.
going on.
Right.
But with Paul, they figured it out. And I think we have rambled long enough
Okay.
talking about wrestling.
Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody.
Easter is coming up. So if you have Hulu, you've got to watch History of the World Part 2.
Jesus. Yeah.
And they talk about how the Easter Bunny coincides with Good Friday and
No spoiler alert. I don't know if I've got that far yet.
I think you have.
Have I?
Possibly. You may not remember.
I
But
may
it
not.
it describes why we have chocolate bunnies and peeps and colored eggs for Easter. But you've just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents.
J&M, Solve the World. I have been James.
And I've been Matt. And on behalf of
And I've been
Ray Ray, And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.